Alrighty, hello degenerates, and welcome back to another Smash Ultimate character analysis. This time we are going to be looking at the brand new character of Min Min. So I do have a lot of things that I want to go over, so if you guys have been sticking around with me all today, checking my Twitter feed, or you watch the stream with me, you'll know that I have done a lot of dissecting of this character. And if you're around here since Byleth was dropped, I did a pretty thorough analysis of them. So I've done as much homework as we can possibly get from this video, but unfortunately, because of the way Sakurai decided to demonstrate this character, there's actually quite a bit of unknowns about her, but there's going to be quite a lot of things that we can talk about. So I kind of want to break down into that. So, of course, Min Min being from ARMS herself, there's actually quite a lot of things that she takes from ARMS. So, for example, the way that her arms manipulate are exactly the way that it functions in ARMS. So kind of what I mean by that is when you throw out an arm, it reduces your mobility. And if you throw out both of your arms, you can't move at all. So if you throw out both attacks, you have to wait for both of your arms to retract, and you'll be put into a animation that will keep you there for like about 28 frames. If we're able to get to it, I will show off footage of that, which actually I think she might show it off right here. Like there, she's just one arm, so she's able to like move back pretty quickly, and she's able to walk while her arm is retracting. But there is a little animation that kind of keeps her in place. She throws out one arm, she's kind of like stuck there for 14 frames from the limited information we can gather. However, there's a difference between her doing a fair versus doing a smash attack or doing an F tilt. All of her various attacks will give her different amounts of end lag on depending how she throws out the move. And if she's moving to, I think we'll play a variable into it as well. Though when she's doing F tilt or fair, she is able to jump again during that. But during her smash attack, she is going to be locked into this pose. So if you're just looking to do a strong punish, you can do this. However, just keep in mind, you're going to have a significant amount of end lag because of that. So with Min Min, you're going to want to be focusing on staying mobile with her with fair and F tilt, or just like jab to dash, kind of like what Mega Man does with his lemons. And that's going to be the bread and butter of your game. So you're able to like throw out your arms like this, and then you're also just able to jump with it as well. So you can cover the ground and you can cover the air at the same time due to her unique arms mechanic. And basically the best way to think about it is imagine if Belmont could throw out an F tilt and then jump and throw out another F tilt basically immediately. From my information I can gather, after she throws out one of her arms, it takes 5 frames before she's able to throw out her other one. So within that 5 frames of her throwing out one arm, I'm not sure if she's able to jump in the middle of it. So her first actionable frame might be 5 from that, or she just may be able to just stay mobile the entire time. Depending on what the restrictions are on her, will really change the way that her neutral is going to work. The other thing that's important to know about her arms is just like arms, when they do hit an object or when they do hit an opponent, they are going to stop in place. A very good example of that we can see is actually at the very beginning of the match here. So pay close attention to where the dragon is when she hits somebody with it. So in this case, she's about to hit Captain Falcon right here. And that's where the arm stops. And she was doing a full charge smash attack. Generally speaking, that should go like all the way to around here where the ledge is, just because of how much range she has. But because the attack actually connected with somebody, the beam actually came out here. And the other thing too is because she's using the dragon arm in particular, she can actually throw out another hitbox there 11 frames afterwards. So this actually does provide her with quite a lot of good coverage and actually will add some shield pressure to it. And then she's able to throw that afterwards too. But yeah, I think over here you also do see that I think the chakra arm misses. So actually no, it does hit him. So right there, you're going to see the chakra arm hits Captain Falcon. It's going to stay in place, does a little lingering hit there, and then it launches. We'll talk about each one of those arms individually a bit later on. But that's something that I want to highlight. So those are the arm mechanics. And also, if these arms do happen to hit shield, you'll actually see the arms deactivate and drop down and retract back. However, the deactivation doesn't seem like it affects it doesn't seem like it is going to affect the overall frame data of the move, as it doesn't drop down to the ground. It drops down as it's retracting back, unlike arms where it'll just like stop for a second. So at least on that front, doesn't look like she's going to have to at least worry about that mechanic being implemented in here. So let's get back to the thread that I have. So we'll start off with just some of the information there. So when the laser comes out, this is wrong. It actually stays out for 12 frames. So with the laser staying out for 12 frames, you're actually going to be able to get some pretty ridiculous ledge coverage from that. So this is what the attack looks like itself. It is that long. So she could literally stand like even beyond center stage, throw this attack out, and then have a move that stays there for 12 frames long to cover this entire thing. To give you an idea of how long that is more active than Palutena's up smash, I believe. Let me just double check and make sure that I'm not speaking wrong there. So yeah, so Palutena's, actually no, Palutena's up smash is longer than that. I spoke wrong. But still, 12 frames. Very strong lingering hit, and it is a smash attack too. And it doesn't appear that the laser gets any weaker at all. You'll see later on in one part of this, when she's fighting Captain Falcon, when she's about to take out Captain Falcon. Let me see if we get here, I think. So Captain Falcon already lost the stock. We want to look right at this part then. Okay, so take a look at this. So we have the laser come out. It's been out for 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's been out for 4 frames, so almost half the amount of time, and it's still at that full charge that it has. But keep in mind, with this swirl being here, that is the powered up version of the laser. And that is capable of getting the stock. So if you're able to get this out and like throw it out here, you're gonna be able to get really good ledge coverage. And not only that, like you're covering an entire area with a smash attack too. So that's gonna be a very useful thing to have with laser. Because like one thing with Palutena's is the strong hitbox isn't out for that long. It's the weaker hitbox that are out for that longer part. So, next part on our giant Twitter thread, Nair. Nair's very interesting with the way that handles. That is actually going to be dependent on the different arms that you have. So why don't we talk about those? Here we go. So, with down special, you are able to change between all the arms extremely fast, and he is able to show this off right here. I didn't count the frame data exactly on this because I feel like knowing the FAF for this is going to be very important. But it's going to be like basically as fast as Monado art changing was back in Smash 4, and even in this game by just tapping the B button. But as you can see, look, he's just going to go through the air, and he's just going to keep swapping like immensely fast, like right there. There we go. So basically, you can get out any attack that you want, but this is the order that you need to know. It starts off with Dragon, then it goes to Ramram, and then it goes to Megawatt. So middle, light, heavy, middle. It's a descending order that it goes down. So first one we're going to talk about is Ramram. Ramram is there purely for damage. When you are watching this move in action, at least in the one game that he shows us, Min does like a charge smash attack against Kirby at 50%, and Kirby goes absolutely nowhere. Not to mention that this little attack that you see like right here, where the Ram is out, this move has like no capability of killing, where I think charged Ram, where it has fire, might have the ability to do so, but you're going to get more gimps with it than you're going to get kills. This one is purely for neutral coverage, and it's also going to be there to just rack up damage. That's what you're going to be using this for. And the other thing too is you are able to angle it up and down, and with those different angles you're able to get like drastically different coverage with it. So kind of to show this off, here's that same Ramram except in the middle of the match. As you can kind of see, when you do regular Ramram with like no angling, it's able to cover that short hop distance very well, as it'll come right here. And where Kirby is about short hop distance. So if you do a short hop, you're going to get hit by this thing. It's just going to come back, it's going to hit you. So you're going to need to full hop, and you're going to have to plan to like get down and hit him, or like just jump over and get back in. But this move does go a little bit too fast in order to really kind of capitalize on a situation where you'd really be able to get in. As you can see, it's just blindingly fast there. And if we really want to get like even fancier with it, we can see how long it takes for it to come back. So after your launches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So basically, it takes 14 frames for this move to come out, and the entirety of that like wraparound move comes out 2 frames faster than this move comes out. So you're able to just cover. You're just not going to be able to short hop over regular Ramram. That's just an impossibility. Like, you can jump over it, but the return hit's going to hit you. And if the return hit hits you, it sends you nowhere. So she's going to be able to jump and then confirm that into a dragon. So I think over here we are going to see the different Ramram. So there's the first one. And as you can see, this one goes up a lot higher. So if you're going to be full hopping a lot, this is going to be absolutely perfect for covering that. And the nice thing about this, the up angle variation, is that this one comes up kind of like in the middle. So like this is kind of like a normal F tilt. And then from here, if you're trying to do like some full hop things, it goes up just fast enough that it should be able to catch it. And let's say you jump past at this point, then it's going to have like that like really quick part where it comes back in. So I think if you did a full hop over this and came in with an attack, you should be able to hit her. But this thing might be quick enough to hit you before you can fast fall and like really get a hit on her. And also keep in mind, this is the smash attack variation. This is not the F tilt variation. And then it gets back to that way. So basically it goes up like this, comes back around. The other big thing that we do not know about this move in particular is we do not know if you hit Min, if the Ram will still hit you out of it. So we don't know if this acts like a boomerang. So if it hits her, does it reset the arm, or does the Ram still come back and hit you? Because if that's the case, then you are going to have to be very careful about how you approach her whenever she's throwing this out, because this means this could interrupt you in the middle of your combo, and it might actually give her an advantage just because, like, you know, she does have moves that are decently quick with her jab. And also, we don't really know how much hit stun it's going to put you in at different parts. So here, one of the big things about Ramram is you're going to be using this a lot to get, like, just help with keeping your opponent at bay at the ledge. So, like, if they're recovering high, you can do that up-angled variation where it's just going to be obnoxious to get around. Or you can do this down-angled variation. So keep in mind where this is covering. So if Ryu was a little bit smarter, he recovered lower and just like upbeat here, he'd be able to snap to ledge and get around this. However, if you need to recover more horizontally, this thing is going to be brutal to deal with, because like it comes down here, and now that she did the charge variation, it also has the flame effect there too. So he misses, and then it's able to connect his arm right there. So that's the reason why this happened. So when you're fighting a character like Ike or Crom, this thing should be able to hit them very easily. And with a return hit, you're going to notice it's not going to bring Ryu back in. It's going to send him out. And we don't know what percentage he's at, so it's kind of hard to gauge exactly like how much that's dealing. But it also sends at a very, very shallow angle. So it's like even better for gimping and all that. So like Ryu here, I think he could still Tatsu and make it back. But like another Shoryuken, he's just going to be dead. With no jump, he was probably dead. So that's going to be extremely good for just like tacking on damage. Then next up, we're going to be talking about the Megawatt. So this one is purely for punishes. I think this is going to be really good for tech chase scenarios, because it does move slower. It's going to be able to cover like tech away or tech in place a lot easier. And the other thing that we don't know is we don't know about the lingering hit. And depending on this will determine how useful this is. Like, I'll kind of explain right here. So the move is still coming out, and it's going to cover like that same area at the end for a couple frames. So starting here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it looks like for 8 frames it's more active, but let's go even further. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14. And now it starts moving back. So if it is active that entire time, this is going to be really good for 2-framing opponents if you can aim this right at the ledge. So yeah, you can see it's slowly moving back now. So depending on how active this is, charged or uncharged, this will determine how good this is to use at ledge. Either it's going to be for 2-framing or just catch and get up options there. The other thing too that we don't know, that I should have talked about with the Ramram, is ARMS has another unique mechanic where the size of the arm determines how easy it is to beat it out. So for example, Ramram itself is considered a light arm, so if you used a medium arm like the Dragon or the Toasters, those would go right through it and beat it out. So what we don't know is we don't know how these arms are going to interact with attacks. The Megawatt, however, this move is able to beat out every single arm except another heavy arm in the same class. So a Megawatt versus a Megawatt, those would cancel out each other, but this would beat out dragons and these would beat out the Ramrams. So if that theory still applies here as well, this move should be able to beat out most attacks, and by a good chance it might be able to beat out projectiles too, but specifically only the Megawatt. I think the Ramram's going to probably lose to pretty much anything it touches, or just like clank out with it, but still go through. But I think the Megawatt's going to be able to beat out things. And then, of course, by charging it up, you are able to get that stronger variation too. While we have this up, from my initial findings, it does appear that F smash charges do come at a certain frame. So for the Megawatt, it seems like that one came out frame 25. And then for the Dragon, it seemed to come out like frame 12 that it started smoking out the sides. So it's a little bit hard to gauge on when this exactly happens, but it's just something that we'll have to figure out with time. Generally speaking, though, from what we've noticed, Megawatt always will take the slowest, Dragon will be in the middle, and then Ramram will always be the fastest with whatever frame data it's involved with. The other thing to keep in mind about Megawatt is look at what percent Mario's at. He's at 46. Full charge Megawatt with the special is able to kill on FD at that percentage at the ledge. So this move is going to be very strong. However, we'll see how strong it is without a charge. My guess is it might be as strong as like something like K-Rool's F Smash when it's thrown out. So we'll just have to see. But yeah. For the most part, because of how slow that move does like travel across the stage, you're probably going to be mostly using that just to like cover options, tech rolls, or if you have a hard read. Outside of that, not going to really be using this in 1v1s. Dragons. So in ARMS, this was just used mostly for the lasers as it didn't really have a hitbox coming out. But in this game, this acts as like your regular punch. So this is kind of like your toaster. And this one is always locked to your left arm. When you press down B, you're able to switch out your right arm, which is locked to your special button, which was something that he explained very early on in the video, which will show off right, I think about here. So your right arm is locked to your special, and you can do your special by pressing B to do your jab, or forward and backwards to do your smash or your tilt variation of the attack. So your left arm going to be controlled by your A button, and your right arm is going to be controlled by your B button. And then you can also do two special attacks at the same time by mashing A and B button at the same time as well. So those are going to be important to know. And that's also going to play a huge factor in like your aerial pressure too, because you're going to want to jump, do your special, and then if you want like to specifically use that, and then you're probably going to do like Fair Bear with that. And then when you see it in action, especially with the tilts, you can just see like how much that you're able to like cover. So just like, look at all that option coverage right there. So first you're covering like the straight with, first he's covering the straight with like Dragon. So, and let's also check this. So this comes out frame 14, and that's the first frame. So let's see how long it takes for the right side to come out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in this case, he decided to do his right arm on frame 8. And that's when that came out. So with all of that said, look how much she's able to close in and how much coverage she's able to get out too. So keep in mind, her attack started all the way back here. And now her second attack is starting here. So she has her dragon arm out there. And now she's sending out the Ramram. And that's going to get back like a little bit further than that because she decided to walk forward. So Dragon was here, Ramram got there because she moved forward. And now it's going to just cover the rest of this. And keep in mind, like this area is covering like the short hop distance too. Like this right here, if you jumped over that Dragon and then she did the Ramram's probably going to get you. And like that option coverage is insane. And then if you cross up, she can also do like tilts in the opposite direction too. So let's check this out again. And now she's going to do the Ramram in the opposite direction while moving backwards too. So one thing that she could realistically do is do Ramram in the opposite direction and start moving in one way. So then that way she can use the return hit to like help combo into something. Because most likely you're going to be using Ramram into Dragon quite a lot. And then Smash Attack, of course, is going to be able to just like keep you down. And I think right there, let's see. So this is actually F-tilt into a Smash Attack too. So you can actually use your second attack to cancel into it. However, it doesn't look like you can have the F-tilt and a Smash Attack out at the same time because she needs to go into that pose. So like her stances will also affect exactly how she plays too. Like you have your tilt stance and then you have your smash attack, your smash stance, where smash stance will lock you, tilt stance will allow you to move. And then also, as we mentioned, let's just go over this again. When you use Dragon, after it fully extends, you're going to be able to throw out your laser 11 frames after it comes out. And then you're also able to angle your laser up and down, and you're able to angle your arms as well. So as it goes up like that, you're able to cover that entire trajectory. So you see angles up about here, and then it does that. But as you can see, the Ramram has got a way more drastic angle when you angle it up. So you're going to be wanting to use that to combat anti-airs quite a lot. With this one, you're mostly using it kind of like the Belmont whips, fair and bear. Fair, bear, and their tilts. And then you're also going to be using the smash attack variations, more specifically to cover the ledge. Outside of that, I don't really see like the lasers getting used. Being mobile with this character is going to be very important. So something you might have noticed, as Sakurai mentioned too, is that she doesn't really have any good attacks above her. So when you throw out your move, you're relying on that punch to connect. And then if not, you have to like jump and hit them. To give you an idea of how small her attacks can be, I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to be showing you this in particular. So this is her throwing out her Ramram in the air. After she does that, Kirby's still right here in front of her, and she's about to throw out her left arm. When she throws out her left arm, this is the first active frame of the attack itself. But there's one thing you're going to notice. It does not hit Kirby at all. Kirby is able to get right past this. So that means there's actually a dead zone right in front of her when she does her second arm attack. When, at least particularly with like her fair and with her F-tilt and jab. So that's actually going to be a huge thing you're going to want to exploit as a shorter character. As you can see, it just completely whiffed. So we don't even know how big this hitbox is exactly, but there is definitely a dead zone right here that a lot of characters can be able to exploit unless they're a big body, because a big body's getting hit by that. Unfortunately, big bodies are not skitty even in the slightest. So that basically covers it for all of her regular attacks and the different properties of her arms. Next thing that we're going to... Oh, wait. I did forget to mention the dragon. So one thing that's kind of neat is this. Is that whenever you grab somebody with Min Min in arms, her arm does get powered up whenever she has the dragon. Her arm just actually got powered up. In this case, it's locked to her left arm, which is the dragon, which is everything mapped to your A button. During this time, your punch is going to be longer, and you're going to have a stronger beam the entire time. So basically, it's like a temporary limit break for her A button attacks. So definitely, when you get your opponent to like death, closer to death percent, you're going to want to be able to find your way to lock in that grab as much as possible. Because you can see, buff is still not gone. It's still able to do it. Regular laser, stronger laser. So getting your grab when you need to get the kill is going to be kind of paramount to her in order to clean out stocks very early. Unfortunately, we don't really see the powered up version actually connect, so we don't know exactly how much earlier it KOs, but that's something that we're going to have to test when she is released. And of course, we don't know exactly when she grabbed them, so we don't know exactly how long that buff last for. And also, since this was in May, the duration of that buff could be different from what it is now. And now here is a very important thing, which is her neutral air. As Sakurai mentions, it does change with depending on which attack that you have. So unfortunately, we do not know the landing lag of this move because she always auto cancels it. As you can see, she always goes into this pose right here. She always goes into this pose whenever she uses the Ramram, which is not indicative of the landing lag that she has with that move. But this is what I measured from my findings. So ignore the Ramram one because we don't know. The landing lag on Dragonair is 16 frames. The landing lag on Megawatt is 24 frames. So that makes this 8 frames laggier than Dragon. So Megawatt is probably a very scary Nair to get hit by whenever you're off stage, just due to how strong it most likely is going to be. So here we go. We're going to go back 5 seconds. So here I'm going to show off kind of the landing lag animation, so that way you know that there is a difference in the animations themselves. So as you can see, she's kind of landing like this. She has her arms out versus just going into this crouch, where now you're going to see her just go into the crouch. So that's how you know this is auto canceled. So this is fine, but the other one wasn't. So that first one, 16 frames of landing lag. Ramram, I'm guessing maybe 10 frames of landing lag. And then the Megawatt is just a lot laggier. So the Dragon seems like it might come out frame 12. Ramram comes out frame 10, and Megawatt comes out frame 16. So my guess is this. Ramram's going to be good for getting opponents off of you, and, it's definitely a lot quicker too. It's also a lot safer for landing because the auto-cancel frames on it seem to be very generous. Megawatt just seems like it's going to kill, and hopefully it's good for shield poking as well, because if it's got that property to it, or it has a significant amount of shields done, that's going to be really good. The other thing too is we do not know what angle this sends at, and depending on which arm you have, might actually send at different angles too, which will actually be very, very important for her. Because if one sends it into a very shallow angle that allows for really nice tech follow-ups, that's what you're going to be wanting to use in order to get those tech chase situations, so you can set up into the Megawatt to get those kills, or into a laser with the Dragon. Next, we'll be talking about the rest of her normals. We'll talk about her jab. And now there's a very important thing that you need to know about this, is that she has different stances in her jab. So as you can see, she does have a regular kick jab, but the thing is you need to cancel it. As you can see, he says you got to hold it for the punch, you have to tap it for the kick. And this is how you can kind of tell how that's going to work. So when you first press it, she's going to initially be going into the punch stance. So this is what that looks like. So when she's like this, she's in the punch animation. So that means that that's what she would do. Now he's going to let go of the A button, and now she goes into her kick stance. So my guess is you can probably cancel that animation in frame 1. So you're going to add 1 frame, and then you're going to get into this jab, which will come out in 4 frames. So this jab will always be frame 5, and she has 2 variations of it. She has a rapid jab variation, which you see right here. And unfortunately, we don't ever see her connect that, so we don't know how strong that is. And then she has a 3-part jab combo. So that's the gentleman right there. And let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's just the regular jab. And now she's going to go into her... Yeah, there we go. So 1, 2. So in this case, that was immediate. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So frame 5 is the earliest that this can come out. And then that's the final one on that. So frame data wise, this is very much the same as every other gentleman jab that you see. So it's got 34 frames of end lag to it, which kind of puts it on par with rules. But of course you also have that variation too. So The good thing is because you can kind of cancel out of that holding animation at different parts, it actually allows you to mix up your timing of when your jab comes out, which is very, very unique for this character. So the next normal we're going to talk about is up tilt. So up tilt is actually a 2-part move. So if you look at it in slow motion, she has 2 feet. She has like both of her legs out. So first one comes out. From my estimation, this comes out frame 5. And then the second frame comes out hit 2. I mean, it comes out frame 10. So with this, you know, you are able to basically break through any focus attacks that come your way. So that's going to be good to fight the Shoto players. And it has a very nice angle where it just sends straight up. Kind of to give a better visualization of this. It does happen later on in this video. But basically, you just go right on top. And then up smash is able to also reflect as well. And if you look at this attack in particular, if you do miss the reflect, this should go over most charge shots as she's completely in the air. So if you're a little bit too early, you're still going to be able to dodge like anything that's over here that's just coming this way. While we don't know what the FAF is exactly on this, so it's not an ideal dodge, at least for projectile interactions. It should be good for that. So, you know, once again, you can kind of see this is how tall it is. So I'm going to leave my mouse here for just like indication. As you can see, like her head is basically like completely above this, and she stays above that for quite a long time. So she should be able to avoid a lot of attacks that way. However, it actually does look like she might have reflected it a little bit earlier. Or no. Okay, so it looks like it comes out frame 10 exactly when the kick comes out. But we'll see, though. She might have some reflections that go a little bit quick. The reflection might come out a little bit faster than the actual attack itself. So, unfortunately, it looks like it's only on her up smash. It doesn't look like it applies to her up tilt or her up air at all. Also, dash attack. This is a frame 7 move that has 45 frames of... it has a FAF of 45, I believe. Let me see. I think it's like 35, because I remember at least when I was like comparing it to Mario, it was about the same frame data. Actually, let me check Doc. Doc actually might have a quicker dash attack. Okay, yeah, so I think it was like I think it was like a FAF of 38 from what I guessed when I did it. So we're not sure exactly how strong that dash attack is, so we'll have to see if it's able to kill or if it leads into anything. So now down tilt, as you can see, it sends like at a very nice 45-degree angle. But due to like Min-Min's frame data, I'm not sure if we're actually going to be able to get a combo off of this. However, at later percents, I think you're going to be able to do down tilt to aerial up B. Because like aerial up B comes out frame 7, and then it stays out for until frame 25. So I think you're going to be able to connect with that. And then here you go. This is kind of definitive proof that Min-Min's has a two-part attack with this. Because you're going to notice that the first hit is going to completely whiff. So the hitbox is fairly accurate to the foot there. And then that whiffs. And then foot 2 connects there. And you can see this is kind of a much bigger hitbox too. And then that's what picks up Samus. And it sends her right above Min-Min there. So there, you might be able to do like an up tilt to up smash or something like that. In this case, this is up air. And you can see like up air sends like very, very vertically. So that's going to be a very nice juggle tool for her. You also might be able to do like up air to like Ramram as well. Which I'd expect to see that to be a fairly normal thing. So her down smash, this comes out frame 8. This is really fast. However, we never actually see her hit an opponent with this. So we have no idea how strong this is. And she does this really cool like leg twirling animation too. So we don't know exactly what the FAF is either. And then here is the upper that we talked about. Pretty similar to Terry's animation. In fact, I wouldn't be too surprised if it actually was Terry's animation. But yeah, as we saw, really nice utility there just for juggling and all that. But it doesn't seem like it'll kick. And also with her dare, we actually were able to look at the frame data for that. So let me see. So on her dare, it has 27 frames of landing lag. So pretty close to what ZSS has. ZSS has like 24 frames of landing lag when she does it. So I'd expect this to be basically the same exact move as that. And now this is interesting. Arms jump. It mentions that she has intangibility when she is ascending, or like you can't hit her. But the one thing that we can't tell is this. We don't know when you are able to hit her and when you're not. So let's look at this frame by frame, and let's see when she flashes white. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So in this case, I think she's doing the charge down version, but then that's when she gets intangible. So I think it's like, in this case, with her, you're only going to be able to be intangible as you're rising. So unfortunately, while this would have been great if she could use this as a get out of jail free card, I don't think that's what it is in this case. So that looks like the quicker version. So let's see that. So let's look at this frame by frame and let's see exactly when she gets this out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it looks like frame 10 she becomes invulnerable, because that's at least when we see her flash white. So if that's the case, that is not a terrible out of shield option, but it's obviously not the best in the world. If she's able to get it earlier, that might be a very good option to just kind of relieve pressure for her, get out of the way, and then just kind of reset herself. It's like being able to do that and then like fall down with like down angled Ramram or something like that. That could be really good for her. However, against like characters like Sheik, I don't think it's going to do too much good. And then this is what I was talking about before. So you have those two, and then you have arm thrusts. So I think for the most part, depending how strong this move is, you might actually be looking to kill with this by like getting them up in there and then jump and then do the arm hook. Because it's really fast and it's able to just like poke them. So definitely, I would say, I think like looking for different ways to utilize that's going to be good. And now this is the unfortunate part about it for recovery, is that it is a tether. So this is going to be very easy to gimp. I think like Min Min's going to have like an impossible time getting back to stage, especially considering that her aerial mobility does not appear to be the best. Neither is her ground speed. Also, real quick aside, her final smash, Bite and Bark are not in it. So rip one of the OGs. And then they're just talking about this. So unfortunately, we don't get to see her throws. We only got to see up throw, which seems to have like a high amount of base knockback to it. So that you're going to be able to just like kind of like toss them up and then, you know, just got to mess them up pretty well after that. So let's see. The other thing, too, that's like worth mentioning about the jab is that she is also going to be able to move forward a lot. So it actually, in a lot of senses, her gentleman jab is very similar to what Byleth had for that, in just terms of like the kick and move forward. The other thing that's worth noting, too, is how far Min Min's able to move off of her F tilt. So here she starts F tilt. And when she completes it, she's like at the edge of the stage. So basically a little bit more than half of battlefield, she's able to move horizontally when she does like fair or F tilt and she has one arm out. So with knowing that, just know during that time, you'll have plenty of opportunity to hit her above and below without her being able to move too far within that time frame. So that's something that you're going to want to take advantage of. So in terms of you Duck Hunt players out there, because I know a lot of you guys watch me for that, this is what I think about the matchup. So as I kind of pointed out when she was fighting Kirby, Kirby has a really easy time just like getting around these like small long hitboxes, and I think Duck Hunt's going to be able to utilize that a lot too. The other thing we don't know is we do not know how these arms are going to interact against the projectile. So let's say she throws this out and, you know, she hits like can right here. Is that going to stop the arm right there? Or is it only going to stop when it hits gunmen? Because if that's the case, then we can really mess with how their arms are able to just like kind of control space. I mean, of course, that they're going to be able to control the space, so don't camp them out. But our projectile placements actually might have a big impact on the way that they're able to like utilize them. So like if we put gunmen here, we know that no arm is getting past that. That might be a real possibility. Of course, the dragon laser is going to go through it. But like if it's like chakra arm, then it might just like hit and then go through. And then if it's like megawatt, it may just like stop right there, which that would be really good to have. Of course, it should knock back can, but if that stops it, then that'll stop it right there. And if we're able to jump over and get past them, if she's like locked to a smash attack, Clay Pigeon's fair game if she doesn't have another arm to defend herself. But however, if she is using the tilt, she is able to jump with that. So that's one thing that we're going to have to look out for. So like getting in and getting above and below is going to be the biggest priority, and utilizing our small space is going to be big. Because like one thing to think about is we have the ability to crouch. So we might actually be able to like crawl under this, or you might have to down tilt, and then we could just continue our assault, which is going to be really, really good against her. If your character has a short crawl, that's going to be a big problem for her to deal with, just because you're going to be able to get so much distance on her. And it's not like she can cancel to her second F tilt and she'll be able to hit you. You should be able to go under that. So that's going to be a big problem that mid players are going to have to figure out. So it's like tilt, crouch back, and then you're going to probably want to like down tilt or something like that. So then that way you have like that really good long hitbox down there. Like I think down tilt and like down angled dragon laser might be kind of important for like trying to get around that, or just being a little bit more airborne in those instances. Because I think doing that, then like jumping and coming down with Nair to like stuff out people, that might be something that she wants to do. So overall, I think her game plan is going to rely a lot on Ramram getting you the damage. And then when you get to your opponent to like about 90%, that's when you're going to be like switching more into either doing Ramram confirms into Dragon, or like Ramram into like a Megaton setup and then get the Dragon out, or into like a Dragon setup. Like this is neutral. Just this, just going like over and over and then like jumping. It's going to be so hard to get in on her with that, just because she's able to control that short hop distance so well. And just her being able to be mobile during that time too. And then exactly how quickly she's able to get the dragon punch out too, and like not lock herself into the double arm lag. Because one thing we don't know is we don't know exactly what will happen when she utilizes both of her arms in the air, and she isn't moving. Because like this is something I want to point out. So she is moving, and now she got both there, but she actually is able to walk in this case. But that also might be just like a little lock position that she has there too. So it's hard to tell. That's a mechanic that we're going to have to figure out. Because like in that case, that was a smash attack. And then that was into a smash attack too. So like being able to identify if she's in like tilt or smash attack mode is going to be important. But of course, if she's walking, you know she's tilting. And if she's like crouching, then she's doing her smash attacks. So figuring out exactly how your arms interact against like different characters is also going to be important. Because like if you can stuff out characters with the Megawatt, that could actually be very good for a variety of matchups. And then especially against projectile characters too. Because like if that could just like tank through projectiles, that's going to be very good. Even if like Dragon's able to tank through certain things, that's going to be very, very good too. Her juggle scenarios and like comboing into up B, I think that's gonna be good. Like if she can do like up air to up B and she can get like kills off the top that way, that's gonna be very good. I don't think her reflector is gonna play too big a part in hers, as I think she's just mostly gonna jump, or she's just gonna do it. But like if it's a charge shot and she sees it coming, then you know that's something that she can just kind of add to our arsenal, like an extra way to just kill even earlier, and that's never really gonna be a bad thing. So like overall, as Duck Hunt players, I wouldn't be too worried. I have a feeling that this is going to be a more even matchup. I think she's going to do really well against heavy characters. Basically, any character that gets ledge trap hard or has trouble with the Belmonts, I think she's going to do very well against. any like quick nimble character that can get in her space and just like combo her like crazy, like Sheik, Meta Knight, Fox, Wolf, I think they're going to give her a very hard time. And anybody that can like juggle her, I think she's going to have such a hard time getting down. So that's kind of my overall thoughts and impressions on Min Min. If you do have any more questions, please do let me know. I do want to talk about this character a lot more. There's so much more to discover with her too, just because it's like literally inside the demo he gave, he only threw out smash attacks. Like he basically like never connected with F tilt. He never landed with nair. He didn't even land with like down air or dash attack. Like there's so little information that we know from the actual presentation itself that it's actually like really, really maddening. Oh, actually, I just realized there's something else that I can talk about. You can actually combo the dragon lasers into different attacks. So, for example, let me see. Yeah, here we go. So in this case, you have the Ram. That hits Kirby. And in this case, it didn't true combo, but then the laser comes and then hits Kirby. But there are numerous times where he does do laser into the Ram itself. So that is something that you can take advantage of. So it's like kind of like get back to that match. And again, I kind of point out some other things too. So like there, right there. I went back a little bit too far. So like watch this real quick. So got hit with Dragon. Gets hit with Ramram. Dragon comes out. Connects again. And then it does the Dragon Laser. So all that together does 37.2%. So if you're able to connect Ram Smash, Dragon into Dragon Laser, that is 37% with like one smash attack, which is insane to think about. So utilizing, figuring out what combinations work together well to like combo into each other, controlling space, controlling neutral, I think is going to be a big part of this character. But you know, right now Sakurai is not utilizing the verticality that this character has. Like I think throwing out throwing out Dragon and then like jump Ram down angle, I think that's just going to cover so much space, and that's going to be so obnoxious to get in. And if she can like just like dash back really nicely and all that stuff, then that could be obnoxious, because like there's just like so many things that this could be obnoxious of. And that too right there, like 50%, as you saw, like Kirby kind of went nowhere off of that. So it's like I think you need to charge up the Ram specifically in order to get like any type of knockback on that too. As you can see, Megaton very, very strong there. And that was like pretty much it off of this. So sorry about the false alarm, but now that's done, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are excited about this character. I'm definitely excited. The other things to keep in mind is, kind of a side note, is this does deconfirm that spirits do not deconfirm a character. Min Min was a spirit, and Sakurai did mention that spirit battles are going to change via DLC. So all spirits are on the table again. And now that we have Vault Boy as a playable character, that means Nintendo did talk to Bethesda about including Bethesda-related content in here. So there is a chance that Doomslayer might be on the table for a playable character. But I think like any chance of any Fallout characters with Vault Boy being in there, I think that's gone. But I think Doomslayer has a very, very, very solid chance of getting in. So that could be a lot of fun to see. And also, you know, that brings characters like Shantae back. That brings Gino back into the foray too. So we'll see what they end up deciding to do. So definitely let me know what I missed that you guys were able to catch. I know like something we don't know is we don't know her taunts at all. So I'm definitely curious to see what those are. I hope she does have a kill throw, because like I think that's going to be kind of important to her for her to get advantage. And she has like setups into grab, so that way she can set up the buffed up charged arm too. So, you know, always if you want to support me, check out the Teespring store that you saw on the card at the very beginning. You can also follow me on Twitch. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of coverage of this character when it comes out. Remember, every single Monday, we're also always going to have the match critique streams, but next Monday is going to be an exception because that's when Min Min releases. So we'll definitely be playing her out, testing her out, and figuring out what we can from there. So with that said, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and take care of yourselves until the next one.